How often do you conduct these surveys and how often do you release these reports?
We conduct these surveys of CIOs, basically. We've been doing this for about 4 years. And we typically conduct the surveys in September, October, and then release our results around now.
So, what are the some of the highlights of this survey? Especially, we have gone through a pandemic.
Well, the findings that we're seeing right now is yes, indeed, the pandemic is driving the importance of digital transformation, and we've seen that not only through our own survey but through a number of other discussions we've had with folks in the market. So the need to react very quickly to the decentralization of users is really one of the drivers of what is focusing IT organizations right now. And therefore, that's making the importance of software development teams all that much more important, actually. And they're becoming an even more critical cog in an organization. And then the other interesting things that we've started to see about that is when we talk about okay, those development teams are very important. What about their motivation and things like that? I think there's really some interesting findings there as well.
We are also seeing a kind of trend where the importance of SREs or site reliability engineers that is also growing, and it's kind of seen as an evolution because yes, you can get your software up and running, but business continuity relies on that software running reliably. So have you seen any such concerns from organization, or you see a trend in that direction as well in the survey?
Well, in both in the survey and then maybe just the nature of Couchbase itself, where we've built in a lot of those reliability and operational controls into the software itself. That yes, that's kind of always a core consideration when an organization decides to adopt or move one of their applications. I think but to your point earlier also though is the motivation to take an aging application and try to improve its performance, or try to improve its availability, or to lower its operating cost. Oftentimes, moving them from on-prem to cloud, that's getting more and more popular right now as well. And that same reliability concern holds up.
What are some of the challenges that these developers face when they are bringing their legacy applications and moving to the cloud?
Well, there's some core drivers that I think that are part of their challenge. One is their user behaviors have changed, pretty dramatically. We characterize it as decentralization. Oftentimes, we also call it the touchless society, where curbside pickup and delivery of everything are really taking hold within industries that we hadn't really anticipated earlier. So that user behavior is forcing that, not a typical lift and shift, but it's a refactor and shift into the cloud kind of direction. And as they do that, they've got to take on considerations like, I need to have a very, very personal experience for every one of my users. I need to remember that, Jeff likes to buy eggs on Wednesday kind of thing from the supermarket, and catalog that. So the need for, the flexibility of a dynamic schema, like what a JSON database offers as ourselves, really helps drive or helps create that personalization, or allows the enterprise to follow the customer appropriately to where they are.
And this survey also, or this whole exercise also helps you understand, get the pulse of the market.
Absolutely.
How does that impact your own products and services? Because that will also lead us to talk about Couchbase Cloud. But let's talk about how does this influence your own product roadmap?
Well, yeah, the influence to our roadmap is, we throughout the course of 2020, we have been working on a product, or the 7.0 release of our database. There's some capabilities built into that. The feature is called scopes and collections, but the capability is more important. It allows us to map a relational database into a NoSQL or a JSON-based database much, much more naturally, right? Because we now take on the notion of having a schema design, to the database, and collections are akin to tables in a relational structure, and documents are akin to records in that table. So the mapping is much, much cleaner. and therefore allows a SQL developer to recognize what the shape of their new environment might look like as they move and refactor that application to become both more flexible, more scalable, and more available in clouds such as both AWS and Azure, as we're going to talk about in a second.